this tutorial, we will create a sample application and will see the Angular folder and file structure. Let's get into this topic. For Angular development, we can use any editor. As I am very much comfortable with Visual Studio Code, using it. In Visual Studio Code, go to Menu Terminal and click New Terminal. It will open Terminal, which is similar to our command prompt in Windows. We can execute any command and it will have access to our environment variables and paths. In Terminal, type ng, new, and your project name. I am going to just name it as Sample App. Now click Enter button and wait for application to be created. As I have informed, this ng command will pull the packages from npm registry and create new files which are required for this project. This command line interface will ask for some information on configurations, like adding Angular routing to our project. Now we are not going to use routing, so I am going to give no, and click Enter. Now we need to choose between the different types of style sheets which Angular supports. We can use any one of the option from this. I am going to choose Basic CSS for this demo. Choose CSS and click Enter. This may take some time to download those node modules. We will wait for some time. So successfully we have created the Angular project. Now we will execute command to start our application. Before that we need to move to our project folder. Type ng, serve, -o. Option O is to open the browser. Now the Angular project is compiled successfully, and it's opening the application in your default browser. If you see the URL, it's localhost port 4200. In our Angular terminal we can find the same URL as the listening port. Now we will move to our core source folder, which contains our exact HTML, CSS, and TypeScript files. Under source folder we will have app folder which contains our files. First we will see about Appmodule Ts File. This file is used to start up your application and set the links to other modules. It is used to layer your application logically. This makes people to understand and maintain the application easily. For example, consider your application contains login module, authentication module, etc. We can separate them logically and add in our modules. You need to import your modules into this Imports section. You declare your components under Declarations. If there are any services required, then they are added into this Providers section. Bootstrap is used to start up your application. We will see the usage in our upcoming tutorials. Next we will see our app component file. So this file is used to create a component where this contains information about our template and style information. We will go through line by line and will understand how components are created. In import statement, we have imported component module, which is available in @Angular/core. We used decorator pattern to annotate our class to make it as a component. In our component we have three properties. Selector. It is used to identify the directive in a template, and triggers instantiation of the directive. This selector has to be unique, so that it doesn't override already existing elements, or component available by a number of third-party packages. We can define a selector in different ways. We will see that in future tutorials on how to use differently. Next is our template's URL. It is used to declare the path of the HTML template file. We can add our HTML contents directly here by making the template URLs as normal template. Next is our style URLs, where it provides path to the style sheet files which our templates will use. Like our template, we can define the styles directly here by modifying style URLs to styles. Next is our class part. Export class app component. Here this is normal JavaScript syntax, where we are exporting this particular class so that this can be imported in other classes. Then our property title equal to sample app. This is like defining a variable in our application. This particular variable can used in our templates or in this same class. Let's move on to our HTML file. The content that you are seeing in our browser is loaded from here. Let's go and remove the contents from this file and make it simple to understand. I am clearing the entire content and type curly bracket twice and type title, is working fine. Now click Save. The latest code will be built and served to our browser. Now if you see the contents, it is fetching the value of title from the class and displaying here. We will see more on this in our upcoming tutorials. Next we will move to our CSS file. As of now this file is empty. Just for our understanding we will make some changes and we'll see how it works. Now I am going to make the color of the text in our browser to display as red in color. Let's type as p, curly bracket, color is equal to red. Now, we will go back to our HTML file, and wrap the contents within a paragraph tag. Save the files. Go to browser and we can see the style that we defined is working fine. That's all. If you do not understand any of these things, please do not worry, in our upcoming tutorials we will explain. In our next tutorial, we will try to understand on the remaining files.